As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Bros and Shows McGoes. I gotta start working on our Bros and Shows. What's up, dude?
Not a lot. I feel like it's been like a month since we've been in the studio.
It might actually be close
Fucking
to
holidays, man.
Yeah, holidays kick the shit out of us. I figured it out today, because I have a love-hate relationship with the holidays.
Yep.
Welcome to the holiday cast. I love the moments, right?
Uh-huh.
The memories, they're irreplaceable. They're incredible. The holidays overall kind of suck when you're older.
Yeah, there's just a lot of doing stuff, traveling. You're
The logistics. It's the logistics that really suck.
Yeah, I'm tired all the time.
Mhm.
Just constantly tired. Probably didn't help that I went on vacation for 10 days in the middle of the holiday season, but won't do that again. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like a human again.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more recharged.
Yeah.
Granted, I still have a 3-month-old, so I still don't feel totally human. She's sleeping really well, so I can't complain about that. But we're not here to talk about the holidays. They're over. Get over it, everybody. Move on. Turn the page. Cut the cord. We're here.
Surprised you didn't wish everybody a happy new year again.
That was our first podcast in 2025, and you're acting like I'm one of those people that does it for the entire month of January. I don't like that either. I think that's stupid. I think that for our first cast, that's what I'm calling them now.
Cast?
Holy fuck, that word sucks. I want to stop and restart right now.
Call it a pod.
That's
Episode?
awful. How cringy.
So many choices there, and cast isn't one of them. It's not even the worst of them all. It's just not on the list.
That sounds awful. Anyway, it was our first pod of the
Stream?
year. Jesus Christ.
Fucking streamers.
Yeah, dude, our first Twitch of the year. No, it was our first podcast of the year, so I thought that made sense. I'm not going to say it every time, but we're here to talk Potomac, or as I like to call it, the Mia Thornton show, apparently.
Ugh.
But I have something in this room that was given to me by one of Dev's cousins.
Mhm.
You know her well.
Yep.
Shout out Cody.
Mhm.
I need you to find it because it pertains to this show. Cold, warmer.
Is there a hat on the wall that I'm not seeing?
Warm, hotter, colder.
Is it the shirt that you're
No.
wearing that says Hot Bod?
It says Hot Rod Magazine.
Oh, I thought it said
No.
Hot Bod.
Hot Rod. No, cold, ice cold.
This is awful.
Ice cold. Warmer. Hot. Smoking hot.
Oh, Bugs Bunny. Look at him.
We have a Bugs
Oh, it's the
Bunny.
LeBron Space Jam Bugs Bunny?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We got LeBron Space Jam Bugs Bunny in honor of TJ in our case back here. So if you're not watching YouTube, this is the time to subscribe so you can see Bugs in the background in honor of TJ and Stacy.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, so that'll remind us forever. He's never going
So
anywhere.
now whenever you're remote podcasting and I say, are you alone? You say, no, I'm never alone. I've got Bugs
I
here.
got
with me."
Bugs here in my case. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I got Bugs locked up.
Ugh.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep. So I thought
Thanks
that
a lot, TJ. You ruined Bugs Bunny for us.
you can blame Cody. So yeah, there you go. Bugs is in the studio with us to talk about Potomac. And before we get into it, there's been a lot of discussion about Potomac. There has been an article written by Essence about Mia's involvement in the show,
Yep.
dragging the show down.
Uh-huh.
Now, what are your thoughts and feelings on Mia with this show, with this season?
I feel like I wrote that article.
Yeah, right?
It brought me back to 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Obviously, last year, the last season that they had was a dumpster fire to begin with, and everybody was to blame. But before that, when it was still okay / pretty good sometimes, the only fault in the entire cast was Mia.
The only
She
fault
was
in their stars.
The only fault in their stars. Yeah, I didn't want to say that because it's a really sad book, but yeah.
You're gonna laugh twice because of how this story starts. When I was playing baseball in Australia, we were on a cross-country flight, and we used to booze pretty hard on those trips.
Yeah.
And I was hammered, and I hadn't seen A Fault in Our Stars. So it was on the movie
I
thing.
fucking love Eddie Redmayne.
I was like, oh, wait, that's not Eddie Redmayne, is it?
Yeah.
No. What? Fault in
the
Our
guy in that?
Stars is
Is it Shailene Woodley?
it's Shailene Woodley and what's his nuts? He was in like the Divergent movies, and I think he got in trouble for some online stuff.
Oh.
What's his name? Whatever. It doesn't matter. The
Miles
point is,
Teller?
no. Fuck. What's it? It's a weird name.
I just watched the Divergent movies recently.
It's the brother. It's Shailene Woodley's brother in the Divergent movies.
Oh, Ansel Elgort.
There you go.
Yeah,
Him.
yeah. Okay, so he's in it. Yeah.
He's the one with
You
cancer.
know, there's not a third movie to that. They just stopped production because the second one was so bad.
Divergent?
Yeah.
No, it's Divergent. Fuck, this sucks.
Divergent, Convergent,
Insurgent.
Insurgent.
There's three.
There was supposed to be. I know. No,
Supposed to be
there's
4?
there's supposed to be another one. Whatever the fuck it was. I watched all of them. I was excited to watch the last one just to see how it ended. You know, you have to see how. Something
know, I
ends,
watch
even
all
if
of
it
those.
sucks. And then there was none.
Yeah,
I looked it up and it was in production and then they just canceled it.
all those post-apocalyptic, like dystopian, coming-of-age teen
Maze
movies.
Runner.
Watched all of them.
Yep. Mhm.
Will always watch all of them. I don't know what it is about those fucking movies.
Can't stop.
But back to my main point. I was hammered watching A Fault in Our Stars on an airplane cross country in Australia, sobbing, like uncontrollably ugly crying.
Yep.
So that's my relationship with that movie. But
It's nothing like a drunk, ugly cry, too.
no, it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad night. But anyway, back to your point of the Essence article.
Yeah, so I felt like we wrote that about 3 years ago. So I believed every word of it. I felt every word of it. And when it came back, obviously Bravo's been off the air for fucking a month, it seems like. I forgot they were even in Panama. I wanted to say Costa Rica at first, but they were in Panama. That's because I forgot where they were, because it hasn't been on in weeks. We start off immediately with Mia, and I'm like, okay, all right. Throughout the entire episode, I tried to just isolate Mia. And I've been trying to do that because she ruins the show for me. And you just can't, because it seems like every storyline hinges on what Mia's going to say or do or whatever's going to happen. And she is bringing the show down.
Yeah.
She really is. Her and her stupid ass minion. And it's not just a problem of, all right, then get rid of Jaqueline. Like, why did they empower her in the cast? Why did they make Mia more, I guess, safe, if you will? Because no matter what she does, Jaqueline's always going to step up and protect her, as we see in this episode. So you can't just get rid of Jaqueline anymore. You have to get rid of Mia. There's just nothing here. I get that, like, there's enough captivation of Ink and Gordon and the kids and everything, but like, there's not. If you got rid of it, the rest of the girls would thrive. She brings them down. So I do believe every word of the Essence article.
Yeah, I think that you have a cast on Potomac now with the newbies in there. Stacy, Jazzy, Kierna. They're great. They're interesting. They know how to do this show well. Like, they're captivating when they're on screen. They're getting involved in some of the bullshit. They're having a very strong first season. I want to highlight them. I love this new role that Giselle's in.
Yep.
I love this new role that Wendy's in. They're all firing on all cylinders. And then you come back every single time to Mia and this bullshit with her kids and Ink and Gordon. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I think that it's a subplot that's not worth our time because, first and foremost, I don't believe half of it. Neither does the cast. So we talked about in episode 1, like, we shouldn't be privy to this information. These kids are going to see this one day. This is fucked up. I'm glad that the group is now calling that out, like at the dinner. But there's so much more in this show than Mia and Jaqueline and their stupid bullshit that they bring along with it. I want them to focus on the new girls. I want them to focus on Gizelle. I don't need them to focus on Karen, especially given how she's treating this whole DUI thing. I think it's deplorable. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah. But everyone else on this show is doing their job, and they're doing it really well, and we get bogged down by this unnecessary Mia and Jaqueline threesome, Ink talk, going down like foreplay in the shot. I don't give a shit. It's not like, oh my God, that's wild. It's like, I don't want to hear this. Nope. I don't care about this. Let's talk about the other ladies because they're doing a tremendous job. Stacy is an all-timer newcomer.
Yeah.
Like,
she brings such a weird perspective to housewife shows that we haven't seen in the past. Usually they try too hard. Usually they're just not funny or they're not authentic, whatever it might be. Stacey is all of that.
Yeah.
She's authentic. She is funny unironically.
In her own way.
She's not even trying to be. And she is very funny. And she just brings this weird new dynamic to the group that I feel like is getting overshadowed by shit that we don't care about. Just like you said, it just doesn't matter. And I feel like the last red flag for Bravo when you're casting for Potomac next year is that Ashley Darby, who has always been able to skate between both sides and talk to both sides and go back and forth and be able to move around freely, she is even annoyed by Mia and walking away. Like, she can't even find a way to turn what Mia is talking about into a storyline for her, which is something that Ashley's always excelled in, to my dismay. But she's not even doing it. She has to walk out of a store because she's done with Mia's shit. So like that is a huge red flag for somebody who's always been able to do that. Ashley can't even do it anymore. So get rid of Mia. Just get rid of her. We're done with all of this. She wants to be the star of the show. She's always wanted to be iconic. Everything that she said, she always felt like, oh my God, this is my big moment. And she just did it time and time again. And it was so tiresome. But finally, the cast started to rise above it. And as soon as that happened, Mia's bogging everybody down.
Yep.
So it sucks.
It really does. And look, it's still been a solid season. I'm not like throwing up the flag now and going, fuck, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, it's flattening out.
They need to,
unfortunately, because of Mia.
they need to shift the focus away from this. Hopefully, I know they need to tie a bow on it next episode. I'm okay with that. They need to finish the conversation at dinner because it's still in the middle of the conversation. But after that, I hope that they shift focus to the other ladies in the group because I think that there's way more there that's way more fun to watch.
You know what we still have to do?
What?
Paternity test.
But why?
It's going to take up a lot of time at the end.
No, just do
Just
them.
the construction of these shows. We're in the cast trip. We're going to come home. We're going to have like 3 episodes left, maybe.
Yeah, I
Probably
guess.
2, honestly, because it's already at 13. We're going to have 14 back in Panama again.
It's usually 16.
And then 15, 16.
Oh, yeah, there you
but
go.
at home. But one of those is going to be pretty much entirely Ink, Gordon, and Jeremiah.
Yeah, I guess so. And
It's
look,
going to suck.
well, I guess if that's the case, let's say we've had 12 out of 13 of the episodes have been great.
Yeah.
So if we have this and the rest of the season's meh, I'm okay with that.
I do like that. And I know that like the Essence article is part of this, but I do love that both of us are sitting here and the one Mia-centric episode that just obviously I don't even want to call it last week, we'll call it last episode, ended with Mia and the kids' drama. But this one was very Mia-centric, and immediately we're like, nope. Nope, nope, don't do it.
It sucks.
I felt it too. I'm like, this is starting to flatten out. I don't know what to do. And while I'm looking online for a picture to use, and obviously I ended up using her tagline, which I thought was funny because she did say ink is permanent. Is it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to
it
be.
washes out pretty easily. But yeah, I was going through that, and the discourse is just everybody's going against Mia. And a lot of people are talking about how Potomac is flattening out or even just sinking. And it's like, it's not really. You're just too focused on Mia, which is what the producers want you to do. But
Correct.
We don't want to do that.
They just need to remove the issue from the show. Mia, Jaqueline, get them out.
Yep.
And then leave it. Honestly, you don't need anybody else.
No.
Let this cast go for a full season without those two, see what they got, and then, you can shuffle around. But
For the love of God, do not replace Mia with Robin. I saw people calling for that, and I don't know what
we don't need Robin back. This Gizelle has
kind of
been
shit they're
delightful.
on.
Yeah. Gizelle without Robin has been a treat. I don't think we need Robin back in the fold. Maybe Candace can vibe with this group. Like, I'd be open to that if she wants to return after having their baby. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I don't think she can vibe though, just because like we see a different Wendy this year too. We see a
That's
different
true.
Gizelle, and that it's not just because Robin's gone. I think Candace not being there too is part of it. And I like Candace a lot, but I don't know if she's built for this show.
Well, I mean,
We'll see where it goes.
point
But
is-
you have to start with getting rid of Mia.
get rid of Mia and
Just
leave.
see what you have.
Well, no, start with Jaqueline, then get rid of Mia.
I don't even want to grace her with a
Get rid
rid
of?
of her. Just get rid of Mia, and Jaqueline will follow.
Just pull what is it, Milton from Office Space?
Yeah,
He gets fired. You don't
Put her in the fucking closet. Put her in the basement, and just forget about her. Like, we're done.
put her, what's the storage area? Like my stapler.
Yeah, we're actually gonna need this spot for somebody else, and she never
Yeah.
filled the spot.
Yep, that's what you do. We fixed the glitch. That's what it is.
There you go.
But anyway, without further ado, why don't we jump in and right where we left off, Mia and Jaqueline talking about the kids missing. And again, we addressed this however long, last year, but when we talked about this.
Fuck, that's worse than wishing people
That's-
Happy New Year all
you know what
January.
You know what the funniest part is? That was not intentionally
I
that
know,
joke. I was just saying it's been
You were
so
actually
long.
saying it's been so long that it's been a year.
It just
Yeah.
so happened to work out. But
No, or
look, the
not
kids
work
are missing. And I think Ashley says it best later. Obviously, we're all sympathetic to what that must have felt like. And I'm sure she was actually panicked for a while. I don't want to discredit the feelings that she was going through during this whole thing, trying to track down her kids.
Yeah.
But again, as they start to raise questions later, and I'll save most of that for when we get to those scenes, the way she handled this is interesting, and it's just more of Jaqueline coming to her defense and talking on her behalf and speaking on her behalf. And she's like, I know what you're going through. Other people in the group don't, but I do. It's like, even in a scene where you're one-on-one with her, you have to remind us at home that you're her main girl.
It is not reminding us at home. That is how she is.
Yeah, it's just like,
Cameras or not, that's what Mia's going to say.
No, that's what Jaqueline said.
I meant that's what Jaqueline's going to say
No,
to
I
me.
know.
Yeah, it's very pick me, and that's how she always is.
Yeah, it just drives me nuts. But we get to the Sprinter van. I don't want to waste too much time on that scene. And they're headed to Panama City, and we're get a little check-in with Kierna and Greg. Again, we had to do a 180 on old Greg, given some of the
Not
behaviors.
the worst person.
He's definitely
but
not
he's
the worst.
Definitely not as good as we hyped him up to be in the beginning of the season.
Well, he seemed just like a sweet, quiet man in the
We
beginning.
were feeding off of Kierna's energy. She
know.
just kept talking about him. She's still talking about him and how much she loves him.
She loves him
and
a
that's
lot.
great, and I hope that they're great. But we thought he was going to be a lot better.
Yeah,
he's not.
That's what I guess. That's it. We thought
Kierna's fault.
Yeah,
Let's blame her.
Kierna. I think we thought Greg was going to be better. How about that? But they're adjusting to the move-in. It's been 90 days since they moved in together. Their new house is done in 4.5 weeks. I think that will mellow things out.
Yeah,
because Greg's
we got some
place,
space.
exactly. They need a little bit more space because she's moving all of her stuff in. Greg was not. They're just watching those. See, like, clearly he's lived alone for a while. And I think maybe that's the root of some of it. I don't want to give him too much credit, but new house in 4.5 weeks. That should shake things up. But Karen has a little wrist for Lay, a list for Ray on how to love her properly. And the first thing, of course, is opening doors.
Of course.
That's just, of course.
Gentleman thing to
You
do.
used to do this for me.
Uh-huh.
Keep opening doors. What's the general progression from opening doors?
Probably thanking her for things.
No,
Maybe acts of service. Nope.
It's cunnilingus.
It is. That is an act of service, actually. It's actually going down to the village, which I thought was fucking
That
hilarious.
is funny. No, that's a good.
It's a good Karenism.
That's a good Karenism. I thought, and that's
Visiting
again,
the village.
That's again what's hard with this show is because Karen is so good at her job.
Yeah.
I have to be reminded sometimes, like, no, she's being a really shitty person right now.
You need to be reminded by Jaqueline? Or
No.
Okay, all right.
No, that's
That's where you draw the line.
That's how you know Jaqueline is just the worst.
If anybody else at that table had said that, or not Mia, actually.
No.
Mia and Jaqueline. excuse
Giselle?
yourselves.
Oh
If
my God.
Giselle said it, that would have been lovely, perfect, such a funny little scene. Instead, no.
That's Jaqueline, and she ruins it. And that was a good dig. That was funny.
I know.
Anyone else says it.
Laugh, though.
Jacqueline says it. I groaned, and the rest of the room is shaking their heads like, oh, here we go again. But Ashley talks to Jacqueline. Jacqueline brings up Mia's issues, and Ashley understands. But again, this is when she starts to say more, I think, what we're thinking at home as this is all transpiring 3 weeks ago or whatever when we were introduced to this scene. She's like, I get it. Like, that's terrifying. I would have a very, very adverse reaction if I learned that my kids were MIA. I think anybody would, at least any good parent would. But she questions it. Like, how is she so calm and collected right now? Like, she's in the back of the van. She seems totally fine. And I think the overlying sentiment here is her saying she's got to do something about it. If this is a potential, and I know it's a weird situation with your ex, and if he's manic and all those things, it's hard. But you don't do anything about it. Like, and I think that's something I hadn't really thought about until Ashley said it. I was like, that's a good point. Like, she hasn't made any moves to fix the situation.
No, she hasn't. She also, and I know that I'm nitpicking here.
Nitpick away, sir.
But last week, I don't give a shit. Last week,
it's easier.
She had said, "Oh, he took her to her he took the kids to the old nanny
in West
and we
Virginia
got
or Virginia.
Zero context at all."
Yeah.
This week, it's, "Oh, I'm so close to her."
Yeah.
And then you finally call, I guess, her daughter, and that's who you spoke to, and the kids are with the mom, and like whatever. We didn't know that. If you said, yeah, he took the kids to their old nanny, and it's just this woman that is no longer employed by you, that's what we all felt. That's how we all thought.
That sounds like a much different situation than like my very close friend.
Than my very close friend. Now it kind of paints it in a new light. And I'm not saying that Gordon is in the right at all. He's still the father to the kids. You're not divorced. He still probably was watching the kids, and he was probably pissed off that the kids were with Jacqueline's kids.
Yeah, maybe.
It's Jaqueline.
You think that's what
I'm not putting it on the kids, but that's Jaqueline. I don't fucking trust her. Well, let's put the kids with her kids. I don't know what the hell she's doing with her kids. It's probably PP watching them. I don't want PP watching my kids.
PP. Oh, I forgot about PP.
Yeah, I don't want PP watching my kids. So yeah, maybe he just went over, got the kids, and brought them to somebody that he trusted. There was no communication. Obviously, that's the issue.
You have to communicate.
But it's still Mia, so I'm still having a really hard time. Where I'm like, yeah, no, I feel bad. Like, that is scary. You don't know where the kids are. Gordon might be manic. I'm not sure if he is anymore because Mia lies about everything. Leah lies about everything. So the whole thing is just, it goes out the window immediately for me.
It just gets so murky.
As soon as it gets resolved and you find out where the kids are, and then we find out that you're best friends with this person, it's like, okay.
It just changes it. And that's,
Yeah.
I guess, Ashley points it out again because she goes to check in with Mia while everybody's shopping. And she's like, so what happened? She's like, well, he dropped the kids off here and then he went off to Martha's Vineyard. And I'm like, what? When did that part of the story come in? And that's when she points out in the confessional, Ashley's like, look, of course I'm sympathetic. And I think this is probably how the majority
Neither can I.
Majority of us at home feel. Yes, we're sympathetic. That must have been horrifying for the however long it went on for you trying to find your kids. T's and P's, I get it. But there's a lot of discrepancies in the past with Mia. And then we get a montage of it. And that's when it's like, okay, I want to feel bad. I do feel bad. But we're adding to the story again. Now he's in Martha's Vineyard. How did he drop the kids off and get on a plane to Martha's? Whatever. There's just discrepancies. Yep. And Ashley feeling those discrepancies and also feeling a certain way about how she handled the shit with Gizelle, talking about Giselle's kids, calling them sluts, which was scrubbed from the show. Which, again, why do you scrub it if it comes out anyway?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things that it's a lot more harsh when you hear it on
TV. Okay.
Hearing it through the grapevine is still like, Giselle's been on this show for how long, and she knows how it's going to work.
I want to protect the kids by all means.
Yeah, so I think it is a way of protecting the kids because coming out on TV, there's going to be a lot more backlash versus people who are reading articles online.
Yeah, I guess
it does kind of knock out like a couple. I don't know.
Like if you heard that Erica told Garcelle's son to fuck off.
Yeah.
Through the grapevine, it wouldn't have been
that
like
bad.
When we watched it, we're like, ooh, fuck, that's fucked up.
The difference is we would question the Erica thing. We're not questioning this.
No. But
this happened.
This definitely happened. But whatever. It was refreshing almost to see Ashley this episode. This was the most like on the nose that she's been, I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like she was hitting everything that I was thinking. She's like, all right, look, because of these discrepancies, I'm going to raise some issues here. First and foremost, she's like, I would have left immediately. I think that most of us would have. Even if this was the situation, she found the kids, I'd be like, fuck this. I got to get out of here. I can't concentrate on this trip. But she calls her out for the comments to Gizelle, saying, you're taking zero accountability for what you said. That was pretty fucked up. And Mia's like, you know what? I got so much going on right now. I really don't give a fuck. That's just the wrong answer.
Yeah.
And it's ironic considering, and they talk about this later on at the dinner, you're so concerned about your children. Understandably so. Giselle's concerned about her children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you not put two and two together? Be like, oh, I care about my kids. Giselle cares about hers, but here I am talking shit about her kids.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. And she's trying to equate the social media stuff to people talking shit about her kids. They're not. They're not shitting on your kids. They're shitting on your decisions to bring these dudes around your kids when we don't know which way is up. And I'll save. It's hard. There's so much that I want to talk about.
It is hard because it does all come together. And I thought the same thing. You have to keep in the back of your head what actually happened the night before, what Mia actually said to Gizelle about her kids.
She called them sluts.
And the rest of that table, they're all mothers.
Yeah.
They all look at her immediately and they have disdain for Mia. You don't do that. And they want answers. They want her to address the elephant in the room. They want her to face the music, whatever you want to say. And she's not doing it. Now she's falling back on I didn't know where my kids were this morning. Okay, it's resolved now. Your kids are with somebody that you trust and know, and you've actually contacted them.
Pool.
You should be done. Like, I get that there's going to be residual factors going into that, and you are still like a little stressed out and a little nervous about it. Fine. You still said some deplorable shit last night that we haven't forgiven you for, and we're not going to use this as an excuse because now we know that this is all settled. And Mia's not going to address it because Mia never addresses things. She will never actually apologize.
She'll give a half-ass
She'll always say that's how I felt, but she needs to face the music now, and she's not. I think that's where Ashley got rattled with her.
I agree. And Ashley, I think this is a bigger turning point than it looked like because it's just her walking out of the store.
Yeah.
But Ashley bowing out of the friendship with Mia, as you talked about earlier on, that's a big deal. Because now Mia's only anchor is Jaqueline, which is not an anchor. She's a buoy. She's floating away. She's an untethered buoy. She's a sinking buoy.
Yeah.
The buoy there's a hole in it and it's sinking.
Mm-hmm.
So like the removal of Ashley and Mia, that is tough. Like, why do I need Mia back for any reason now? She has no ties to this group. She's not tight with anybody. Karen tried.
Yep.
Karen bowed out. Gizelle tried. Gizelle obviously bowed out because of the kid stuff.
Yep.
And that's the other thing. When you go back and look at what Gizelle was saying, and every time these conversations come up about Ink, about Gordon, about the social media, 99.9% of the time, it appears to be coming from places of concern from everybody in the group. No one seems to be throwing shade at what you're doing. They're more confused because, well, you told us this and now you're doing that. That doesn't make a lot of sense. These decisions you're making are concerning. We're your friends. And then she lashes out at them for having an opinion on it.
Yeah, and we're still in the same place at the end of the episode. And that's why it's so tough to discuss this in a concise way while we're working through this episode, because we're still in the same spot at the end because she's still not addressing it. And Gizelle finally says, well, no, she still has things to answer to.
Absolutely.
And she's not doing that.
Correct.
She's not. She's just dancing around and then her mouthpiece is just going off. So it just sucks because we're not getting any answers, which means we're never going to progress past this. We're never going to get past this. And this is just going to be a sticking point during the reunion
For the next
that
3
we're all going to groan about. You're going to hear a collective groan throughout America watching this and internationally. It's just going to suck, and I don't want to deal with it.
No, I don't either. But the funniest part, newbie, Stacy, she's new. She didn't know. She sticks up for Mia. She's like, look, guys, Mia's going through a lot. It's like, yeah, she is, but you don't get it. You haven't been around.
Yeah.
This is her MO. And that's when Gizelle jumps in and says, look, she doubled down. She had the chance to apologize last night. Instead, she doubles down. She apologized like off camera. Again, that's later. But Stacy bites on Mia's shit, which is just funny. But I will say the amount of catcalling is concerning.
Yep.
People saying, get in my car, like, concerning.
Yep.
I don't know Panama. I'm not going to speak on the safety in Panama. I will say, I hope everybody's cool because there's a lot of men hanging out of doors in cars saying things to these ladies walking down the street.
Well, it might seem funny. It's not.
It's a ha-ha. And then Wendy's like, we're going to be on First 48. I'm like, that's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, that
That's
is the
I'm
exact
getting.
vibe, yeah.
But
Thankfully, there's cameras and a lot of people around.
yeah,
so.
we should be good. But did they bring William, the security guard?
God, I hope so.
I hope he's there. But we get to the rum tasting, and I was proud of Karen. She orders a ginger ale. I was proud of her for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Then she goes to her confessional, and then she dropped even further in my book.
I am not sobriety.
Yeah, fuck off, man. I hated that confessional
Doesn't
so
even make
much.
sense.
But they give Wendy some gifts. She gets a little dildo. Oh no, it's a bong. It's a bowl.
It's a bowl.
It's a little bowl with a little ashtray in the shape of a banana.
I thought that one was actually kind of nice.
Oh
They
yeah.
were thinking of Happy Eddie.
Yeah, it's happy. Yeah, no, that's a good gift.
Yeah.
Just watching her try to figure out what it was, and then they all go, "Oh, it's a bong." I'm like, close enough. That's close enough, and it just shows none of them smoke weed.
You prudes.
Yeah, you fucking nerds. You don't know what a bowl is? Come on now. But after Karen orders the ginger ale, I'm like, hey, hell yeah. Good for you. You're figuring it out. And then we go to the confessional and all that goes out the window. She's like, I don't have to be sober. I just don't want to drink with these bitches. I'm not sobriety. I'm like, having seen the videos, the body cam footage,
Yeah.
as a sober person, yes, you do need to be sober. You crashed your car. You got a DUI for the second time, Karen. And now you're going to go in a confessional and say that you don't need to be sober. No one knows what they're talking about. Everyone's just trying to say, oh, good for you, Karen. I don't need that bullshit. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Your videos are awful. They're horrible. You got denied in court. You lost. You lost your case.
Well, now we know why she wanted to go to court. She wanted to suppress the video.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't know what her...
The whole thing gets dismissed. Like, yeah, I mean, if that body cam footage comes out, then it's through some weird back channels. But because it's an ongoing case, yeah, it's going to come out.
Yeah, but she's disputing it to this day. She's saying that she doesn't understand why the jury didn't side with her. Like, I don't understand. It's such a strange approach to me to deny when it's like, bro, we're watching the fucking footage. You are wasted.
I felt like the ginger ale thing, and I know that maybe we're like looking a little deeper into this than we should be, but I thought the ginger ale thing was, I don't want to hear from them.
Yeah.
I order a drink. I don't want to hear Gizelle judging me. I don't want to hear Wendy's make comments.
Absolutely.
I don't want to hear Mia and Jaqueline at the end of the table saying something. And then she goes to the confessional and she still has to uphold the Karen. She still has to say things like that.
No, I agree with that.
So I think that's kind of what it was, where it wasn't, look, in the past, I think she probably still would have drank the rum, but I think it's just she doesn't want to hear the comments at the time. But she still does believe what she said in the confessional.
I agree with that. I think that's an astute observation there, Goots. But we do a little imitation game. I ranked them. Kierna doing Stacy was a 7 out of 10. Kierna doing Mia, I gave an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
With the bottle of liquor.
Yep.
Jaqueline doing Karen, I gave a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10.
Wow.
Because it's
I thought you were going to go
Jaqueline.
negative on that, honestly.
I thought 2 was pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were going to go negative too.
Okay. NA, not applicable.
There you go.
There you go. Stacy doing Ashley, 8 out of 10. Wendy doing Gizelle was a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So bravo, everybody. Nice job. I did enjoy that. But we get a little bit more about Kierna and Greg. And this is my point. With the newcomers, you have these weird relationships. You have this dude, Greg, we're still trying to figure out. We're all off on him a little bit, given his recent performances. You have this random weirdo actor friend, TJ. This is all you need, man. You don't need the other shit with ink and all that. And immediately, we're talking about Kierna going on this trip to the Bahamas with Greg. We're talking about Gizelle getting left in Puerto Rico on a getaway. I'm like, fuck yes, like this is great. I'm loving this. And then immediately I'm back down to fucking earth because Jaqueline's like, the whole point was the trip is a good litmus test, an early trip to see if you can like stay with somebody for an extended period of time. Agreed.
Sense.
Yeah, great observation. But Jaqueline like tries to be cool, and she's like, "Or it's like when he's done in 2 seconds." I'm like, "No, it's not. What are you talking? That's not
nothing to do with anything.
0." And then she's like, "Well, it's a WAP. Ask Mia." I'm like, "Oh, here we're doing this again. Now we're doing that. You guys hooked up again." Do you think that anybody at the table cares? You've heard them groan every time you guys talk about this. They're talking about it tongue in cheek. Like they're not being serious.
No.
They're making fun of you for
Yes.
being such a moron. Us at home are all groaning, going, fuck, we're going back 2 years now. We're going back to 2022 when this show fucking tanked because of this stuff that we're talking about again. And then we start talking about who's hooked up with who. Ink, did he go down on Jaqueline? Guess what? Even if he did, I really truly do not care.
No.
I could not care any less about the ongoings in Mia's shower. I don't care. Like, I'm so sick of them bringing up this stupid shit. Like, great, you guys are kinky, fun. Oh my God.
Congrats.
Jaqueline, like, congratulations. Like, what do you want?
Cool. You guys aren't prudes.
It's not
Sick.
cool. And the funniest part is like, Mia's over there. She's the only one laughing. You can tell she's loving this. And then it goes to a confessional and she's like, Jaqueline just needs to zip it. She needs to stop. She needs to shut up. I'm like, you love this shit. You love the fact that she's highlighting this. You think it makes you, again, iconic. She is so focused on being iconic that she is everything but. That's what it's giving me. And I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
But we get to the van to dinner. Everybody changed at the restaurant. I can't imagine how long that took. For any of these shows that we watch when they get ready, because you got glam, you got this, you got that, everything's got to be, you got to look good. If this was a single bathroom, they must have been there for 5 hours.
I would have said, I'll go last, and you can find me at the bar.
Yeah,
I would have been hammered
just
by
on
the time that everybody finished.
Panamanian rum.
Just drinking rum, yeah.
I've done one of those kinds of, like a whiskey testing.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea.
It's awful.
You just
When people get like flights of whiskey. Like, first off, flights of wine is like that. That's the end of it. Flights of beer is the top, and it's enjoyable. Sometimes you don't like the beer, sometimes you do, and maybe you get a little bit more. Fine, you're not going to get too plastered.
Nope.
Wine, yeah, it's a
You're
little
tiptoeing.
dangerous. You're tiptoeing there. You get a little too dangerous there. You start getting into liquor. I know people that do like vodka tastings.
Yeah, it's a wrap,
like,
dude.
why?
I
It
don't
all
know.
tastes the same.
Trust me. I've
It
drank
all tastes like brunettes.
every single vodka that I drank, and I tried them all. They do all tend to. They taste like rubbing alcohol.
Here
Even
we
the-
have a Pinnacle whipped. Wow, that really tastes like whipped cream.
This tastes exactly like funfetti cake. What the fuck did they put in this thing?
And then you start dipping further into like whiskey and rum and stuff. Like, no, you're just gonna get hammered. at the
Once
end
it
of that.
turns into dark liquor,
Mhm.
that's when you have a bad time.
Yeah.
That's when people get.
Gonna have a bad.
You're gonna
time.
have a bad time. Yeah, when I would get like brown liquor drunk from one of those things, I get a little rambunctious. Yeah, but it made for a funny. I liked the scene again. The whole thing was fine until Mia spoke up or Jaqueline spoke up on Mia's behalf. I was like, this whole thing sucks again. But they're in the dinner van, and Mia FaceTimes Ink, and of course, like it gets sexual like that. And what she says, she's like, I miss you so much. I'm going to fly home. The minute I land, I'm going to get on another flight and bring you this Panama pee. Everybody on the bus goes to a confessional. And it's like, go home to your fucking kids.
Mhm.
You were horrified this morning that they were MIA. You could not. Oh, that sucks. Mia, MIA.
Yeah.
Damn it. Damn, that's an unintentional pun I wish I could take back.
Yeah.
But you're so panicked about your children, the minute you get home to get back to them, you're going to go to Atlanta to see Ink and defend it by saying, well, my oldest lives there. I'm going to go see Joshua. Like, that's totally normal.
Because we all remember Joshua.
Joshua is accounted for. We know where Josh is. Go find your kids. Get them out of West Virginia or Virginia, wherever the fuck they are, and take them home. What are we doing here? It just shows you where her priorities are. And I think that she forgets where what she says, because that is such just bad foresight. It's just bad gameplay. Because
let's do her priorities, though. It's at the top, being iconic. Nice. Number 2 is showing off
sex stuff.
Life. Yeah. Showing off her sex life.
I'll just say that we got the first one together.
Yeah, no, that's fine. She does that all the time, though. It's I have to have an iconic saying. I have to show all these women that I have sex all the time, and I got to talk about sex all the time. And then, it's kids, but mixed in there above kids is probably creating more drama.
Yeah.
And other people's lives.
Yeah.
That's where her priorities lie. And everybody knows it, but anytime that obviously kids are involved, you're still going to show some sympathy, especially in a show like this, because they're all mothers and they're all going to check in with you and they're all going to be concerned when you're concerned. Once that stops and you start going back to the top and going back to sex life and being iconic, they're going to groan and they're going to move on and they're going to get annoyed with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we see. And we're all annoyed with her right now.
I can't stand it. But meanwhile, Stacy's FaceTiming TJ. The face-to-face FaceTimes where they hold the phones up was ridiculous.
Bizarre.
It's like, Ink, say hi to TJ. It's like, stop.
It's like, I can't see him. Can you tell him to crouch down?
Yeah.
It's not how FaceTime's work, Ink. You don't have to hold it up that high.
It was just so dumb.
You think Ink FaceTimes like from up here to make himself look tall? Or no, from down here.
He definitely does it from his foot.
Uh-huh.
And then he points it up.
Yeah.
So he looks taller.
He's got like a little cell phone holder on his ankle.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Up.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. He's got a tripod like shoe and he sticks his phone down there and makes him look taller. But this should be a major red flag. I think it's very small, but I think it speaks volumes because TJ looks at Stacy, who looks phenomenal, and he's like, "You look really cute." I'm like, "Oh wow, compliment.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice." Points the camera at Mia. His pecs are out, I guess. Good, nice, TJ. He's got nice pecs, and she's like, "Oh, your pecs are out, huh?" And he's like, "Your pecs are out." I'm like, "Okay, time out. You can comment on Mia's boobs.
Mm-hmm.
You call your girl cute, then comment on another woman's boobs.
But
you're too afraid to be sexual."
Wouldn't it be worse if he said like your tits are out, your boobs are out?
It doesn't matter. The fact that he's commenting on it, saying that he's looking at her
looked
chest.
at this a different way. The fact that he called them pecs is crazy.
I think that I think the fact that he's looking at her chest, commenting on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Meanwhile, calling his girl cute, but commenting on another girl's chest.
Yeah.
He's afraid to be sexual because of God or whatever.
I didn't find that sexual at all. He called them pecs.
He called them pecs. I'm just saying the fact that he's looking at her chest but calling his girl cute, I thought that's a red flag.
Yeah.
And then the fact that Stacy, like, she's so sweet and innocent, and I want her to stay protected in this little Stacy bubble. But she's like, "Oh, I've never seen those pecs. I'm in trouble. Oh, I'm in trouble." I'm like, "You're never gonna.
You're not in trouble.
You're not in trouble.
You are so safe.
You're the safest. The only time you're going to see his pecs is when he wears mesh shirts on Watch What Happens Live and shows his nips."
Mm-hmm.
But don't get me started. I feel so bad for Stacy because she's such an incredible woman, top to bottom. Like,
we ever have her on, though, the first question is going to be, have you met Bugs Bunny?
I think we need to try to get her on.
Yeah.
I would love to have Stacy on, but I think she's so phenomenal. I think she is so far above TJ's weight class that it's wild that she's stuck on this guy. And it's wild. The wilder thing to me is that TJ thinks he can do better somewhere. Like, go try this shit with any other person in the world. They're going to be like, "You have a what on your bed? Bugs Bunny, go fuck yourself. What are you talking? You don't want to kiss me?
You okay?
Yeah, are you good, bro? Like, get me the fuck away from this
You have
psycho.
a therapist.
Yeah, do you need one? Are you committed? Like, fuck this guy. I'm so sick of TJ, and I think that it's more so because I love Stacy so much that I watch these scenes and she's like, "Oh, I'm in trouble." I'm like, "Oh, bless your heart. You certainly are not. Somebody is. Somebody out in California is in a lot of trouble."
Bugs Bunny is very much so in trouble.
Bugs Bunny needs to be sewed back up.
Nice.
Sorry, guys. Couldn't help it. We get to dinner. And Stacy takes shots like a high schooler. Not surprising there.
Yep.
And I was impressed because she does this. And maybe it's like liquid courage. It's the second time we've seen like post drink.
Yeah.
She brings up something a little shady. And she brings up the fact that she saw Kierna's case come up in an article or something like that.
We saw Kierna flip out. Now, obviously, Ashley brought it up.
It was a different.
Ashley can't bring it
It
up.
was a different sentiment because Ashley's like, "Where's the scar?
Yeah.
You have a scar."
It was a different sentiment.
Yeah. Whereas like with and
you
also
would think on the heels of that conversation in wherever the hell they were, Lake Norman, you would think maybe you don't talk about it.
you would think,
Based off of that reaction.
agree.
But Stacey's just like, hey,
but because it's
there's
Stacey,
no stink on her though.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
Stacey, it lands better. I do think it ruffled a little bit. Like I don't
little
think
bit,
she was
yeah.
thrilled to bring it up.
No.
But she does talk about it. She's like, yeah, and everyone's like, what case? She's like, well, I'm suing Deborah. I thought it was disrespectful that I think Giselle's like, oh, that's still a thing. It's like, yeah, she assaulted her. So it's a thing as long as Kierna wants it to be a thing.
Yeah.
And she says that she's
Giselle wasn't there that morning. She was still coming back from graduation.
Oh, that's
She
right.
She just kind of heard about it.
Oh, so maybe it wasn't a
Yeah,
shady comment. Okay. All right, maybe I'm looking too far into it, but she has one criminal suit against her and one civil suit. And Giselle's like, well, she has no money. And I'm with Kierna. She's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You want to do this?
Sell your house?
Yeah, you're going to have to figure out how to pay me because you're going to owe me money forever because you wanted to smash me in the head with a bottle or whatever the fuck happened. So yeah, she gets whatever's coming to her. The fact that Sesame Street came on the show and decided to do this, now you got to deal with the consequences. So yeah, Kierna's suing her. Sue the shit out of her. Who gives a fuck? You deserve it. But Ashley being overwhelmed at shopping, I think Stacey throws this one out there too, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Stacey's she's getting into it.
Yep.
And she tells the whole group about Mia having a rough morning, and Mia fills in the rest of the crew. And I'm so glad that it took this turn where we've been questioning it nonstop. Why are we watching this? Why is she doing this? Why is she talking about her kids like this? Why is she putting them in these situations? It seems pretty fucked up. This is the first time that the group has spoken on it from this perspective. And Wendy's like, look, I'm concerned as a friend and about your children. Wendy says, I'm concerned about your children as a friend. I'm concerned that Gordon's still around him. I think that's a problem. And Mia, and like, this is where you can kind of sympathize. And if she didn't have all these discrepancies, it'd be different. Where Mia's like, well, what am I supposed to do? It's like, that's relatable.
Yeah.
This is a very strange situation. Yes, I can't imagine trying to figure out what's right. Keeping your kids from their father, that seems fucked up. But keeping a father around that's going through manic episodes, that also seems like a bad idea. Yes, this is a tough spot. I respect that. I don't even know how to like navigate that.
Yeah.
So I get that part of it. But then Karen jumps in and she's like, look, when this happened to me, I made a statement. I showed up with the cops. I got my son back. That was it. I'm like, all right, respect there. Gizelle, she speaks up and she says, look, you're concerned about the well-being of your kids. I'm concerned about the well-being of my kids too. It's like, all right, here we go. So this is a good scene that Mia's involved in, but notice she's not talking.
Nope.
Isn't that interesting?
Very
Other
interesting.
people are talking.
Uh-huh.
I'm locked in. The minute she does start to go, I'm like, I don't care.
Yep.
Yeah, she's lying again. But Mia says, I apologize to you last night. Gizelle points out, yeah, you did it off camera. And the funny thing is, a lot of times we say off-camera apologies mean more because you're not doing it for the show. But
Not in this case.
no, because you're doing it to save face because you don't want people to see you apologizing to Gizelle because you want to think that you still have the upper hand on the show. You need to apologize. You called her daughters sluts. That's horrible. Because they snuck boys in, by the way. Like, come on. They're teenagers. Who gives a shit? That's the
I don't think there's anybody that's on Mia's side in this either.
There should not be. Like, there's no reason for her to have done that. All she has to do is just take accountability for everything. But Mia, I would argue she triples down because she goes, look, that was a bad example to use, but, and you don't follow it up with a but, and you might be okay here.
Or say that it's a bad example to use.
And I'm sorry.
For what?
Yeah.
A bad example to use for what? For telling another
comparing-
woman that
Comparing the situation of this all comes back to the social media stuff because of the comments about her showing Ink and Gordon with the kids the day after the
they're just
GNA
not
event.
connected at all.
They're not.
No.
They have nothing to do with one another, but she's trying to hold on to this thing that it's like, oh, well, you portray your perfect life on Instagram. Like, again, what do you want her to do? Go on Instagram Live and be like, my daughter snuck in boys last night? Like, no
Here's
parent's
the
going
ring camera footage.
Yeah, no parent is going to do that. All we're going to do as parents is highlight our children on social media. I'm not going to post something about my daughters in a negative light because
I don't know. I see a lot of weird shit on TikTok, so I wouldn't put it past a lot of people.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You could make a
Little
TikTok
freaks out
dance
there.
while your baby is going through RSV. That's a move you could do. That's happened before.
Yep.
then spend years being baffled why there's so much backlash. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 2 coming out soon. Fuck, we got to cover that too. We got a lot to do.
That's not coming out until like probably summer.
You think? I hope so.
No, because they're running this is just a little sidebar. They're runing the season 1 on ABC.
This is not a plug, by the way.
It's not a plug, but
This sounds like
we
a
do
plug.
have episodes from that.
It's
that
on
will-
ABC.
Yeah, they're putting it on ABC.
Oh, it's good. So it's
Yeah.
week to week.
It'll
Thank
be week
God.
to week. But that's season 1 that we already watched.
Oh, we get to do it again.
We get to do it again.
Boom. You
Yep.
guys are all missing because we only covered the first 3 episodes.
Uh-huh.
You guys asked. We will. Hey, we gonna feed you, baby birds.
Mhm.
Hell yeah, I'm excited for that. But I think it's hysterical that Mia says it was a bad example to use, and I'm sick of my socials being scrutinized for being authentic.
Yep.
Are you fucking kidding? You went to a group of ladies at a GNA event and talked about how awful this situation has become. You need ink to go away for a while so that you and Gordon can figure out what the hell's going on for your kid's sake. And when you said that, everybody at home went, that's the right decision. You shared way too much in that conversation, but that's neither here nor there. It was the right call. Distance yourself from this boyfriend, figure out your shit at home, go from there. The following day, Gordon and Ink are sharing a drink while the kids take a dip in the sink. Had to do it.
Nice.
Sink being the pool.
Yep.
So that's not authentic. That's not authentic at all. In fact, it's the opposite because you are saying one thing and then showing another. So what you're doing on Instagram is apparently what everyone's doing on Instagram is showing the highlight reel, which is fine, but then don't push Gizelle and her kids into it because you're trying to defend yourself from your weird behavior because nobody can track when you're telling the truth, which is why when your kids almost get kidnapped, you don't get sympathy. You're the problem.
Yeah, and that's why Mia's just a full-on enigma when it comes to being authentic, which is very funny that she's going to bring up being authentic. Because she's probably the only one on the cast, whenever she starts talking, we all question her.
Yes.
Is it real or is it not? And yet,
Is it reasonable or is it shady?
we'll never know. Probably because Robin will never come back to the screen. So who cares?
We can listen to the podcast.
Could we? Do we have time? No, we never have time. But with Mia in particular, she will always say, I don't care what you think about me. I'll always tell you the truth. And she does tell the truth about like her past. Anytime somebody tries to bring up her being a stripper, all of the things that she might be a little embarrassed about, she's not.
Which she shouldn't.
She will, when she shouldn't be. But then when things get into what she's actually bringing to the table, what she's actually bringing to the show, those are the things that we're questioning being authentic.
Yep.
So that's why we have this problem with you. And she seems to not be able to wrap her head around the fact that nobody thinks you're authentic. You
Literally
can say you're
nobody.
being your authentic self, but we still have a lot of questions about it. Why do you think that is? Probably because you're not being authentic.
You're inauthentic.
She'll never actually realize that. And until she can actually realize that, that might be when she's okay on the show, but she'll never realize it. So that's why she has to go.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that this was Ashley's best moment that I think I've ever seen on the show because she speaks up and she does it. That's what's interesting. She does it in a respectful way because she says, and I wrote it down almost verbatim because I wanted to get it right. She says, Mia's doing things unconventionally that goes against a lot of our belief systems. That's a way of saying Mia's doing a lot of weird shit and we don't agree with it.
Yep.
And she goes on to say, we're concerned about the decisions being made that they aren't best for all parties involved, which means we're concerned about your kids because you seem to be putting them in fucked up situations. She says this is very eloquent. It's a very nice way to say, hey, the decisions that you're making regarding your children are alarming to all of us who are mothers and all of us at home who are watching. Stop putting your kids in these situations. If you're going through it, we were your friends. We were here to help. But then, of course, Mia has nothing to say, and Jaqueline jumps in to defend it once again. And everyone at the table finally is like, shut the fuck up. Gizelle jumps in. She's like, shut up, stop. Jaqueline's trying to say she's going through a lot. And Gizelle points out, yeah, because of things that she has done. She set these things in motion. She is now reaping what she sowed, and you can't jump in and defend it. Yes, that's the craziest part. Her kids were missing this morning. They were missing. That's a real thing that you can get sympathy for, but you have somehow flipped it to people questioning your decisions as a mom because you have no accountability whatsoever, and you have this little mouthpiece on your right that's trying to speak on your behalf that nobody takes seriously because she's not a serious person. She's a caricature. Like, get these two off the show before they ruin it.
No, and look, this is gonna be the problem for Mia. This has always been the problem for Mia. She is in the midst of so many different things, and she has now pissed everybody off. And like I said before, they're all mothers, and their natural reflex is going to be, I'm concerned when you're talking about your children being in a bad state.
Yeah.
But then they have the issue of, well, Mia's the one putting them in a bad state.
Correct.
And then you try to talk to Mia, and you can't talk to Mia. Whether it's Jaqueline jumping in, just telling her everybody that she's in a bad state of mind right now, so you can't talk to her. Okay, well, you can't be the one in her ear because you're just a yes man. All you're doing and all you're saying to Mia is, hey, everything you're doing is perfect. Don't worry about everybody else. I get you, babe. I understand what you're going through, because you just want to crawl up her ass and live there. That's where Mia wants to be. Or that's where Jaqueline wants to be with Mia.
Mia wants to be there too.
Everybody else is still in that weird juxtaposition of like, I don't know if I should be concerned for you or if I should be pissed off at you for what you said last night about Giselle's kids, or if I should actually point the finger back at you and say, this is your problem. You're doing all of these things. We're not calling them out. Like, yes, now there's a lot of animosity in the things that we're saying because we're pissed off, because we're trying to get through to you. And every time we try to get through to you, you tell us off.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where we are right now. But we can't just sit idly by while you're complaining and you want sympathy when we've been telling you for weeks now and months now, you're the one putting your kids in this situation by bringing them through this weird life that you've built for yourself. And you're the one at fault right now.
Yeah.
You can't get sympathy from us. And that's why we are where we are. And it's just annoying to even watch.
It is. And you get the montage of Jaqueline up Mia's ass, like coming to her defense. And it never works. It has not once worked. But the best part, the cherry on top, there's two cherries on top of this Sunday in Panama. The first one, Mia saying that everyone's a miserable bitch at the table. And literally everyone has had a pretty great trip.
Yeah.
Other than you. They've all been vibing together. They're laughing. They're having fun. They had a good time at the rum tasting. They're still laughing at the table.
Yep.
So no, none of them are miserable. You're projecting. And the second one, when they talk about 613, which is, I guess, a blonde hair color.
Supposedly.
Stacy in the confessional throwing shade. I'm like, fuck yeah. She's getting it. She's figuring it out. And I love that. She throws shade at Mia. She throws shade at Ashley. She says that Karen is the only one that should be 613 blonde. That's good stuff. Keep it up.
Yep.
Newcomer of the year potential. Like, she's been great. But it ends with Karen saying that Mia has a lot of friendships and relationships to rebuild. She's got to fix a lot of stuff and repair pretty much everybody in the group.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any friends left except for Jaqueline. And that's not a good place to live because, like you said, she's just saying yes to everything. So what I don't need is this. I don't need 3 episodes of Mia mending relationships. I don't care. I want 3 episodes. Let's just chalk up next week to what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
It looks awful.
It's going to be shitty. Yeah, I watched.
Yeah.
It's going to suck. Let's wrap this up. Let's finish strong with the other ladies in the group. Get to the reunion. Slog through it. We know it's going to get bogged down by this stuff. It is what it is. Overall, I want to end the season on a high note. I hope that they are able to shift the focus. I hope. I know this is what's going to happen. It's going to ramp up with the G and ink thing, and it's going to get to a breaking point, and then the season's going to end so that we can go into the reunion to talk about it.
Yep.
That's what's probably going to happen. I don't want that to happen because they do not need to be the focal point of the show. It will. But there's so much more here. And I think that what we can take away from this, to the people that are saying that Mia is sinking Potomac, look around everywhere else. We have a lot to build on here. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of promise in the newcomers. Let's just get through the end of this season. We got a breather. Let's get into next season. Let's hope for the best.
Yep. I'm with you.
Let's get to some questions.
First up here from Sarah Pilardi. Is Mia regretting her tagline since the breakup with Ink? No.
Yes.
Doesn't regret anything.
Yes. But she will never admit it.
No.
What did you say? Looks like that ink washes out pretty quick.
Yeah. More of a point here from I'm Just Being Frank.
Hey, Frank.
The scene where Ashley leaves is awkward because they edited Mia's comments out. I guess they're saying from last week's episode.
No, this is her walking out of the store.
Yeah, I know. I don't think Mia made comments while Ashley was walking. I mean, she did, but I don't think those are the edited out comments. I think it's what she said to Giselle.
Yeah, editing out the
and we covered that.
But I also think that even without that, there's enough there from her commenting on Giselle's kids again without just saying sorry for bringing your kids into this.
Yeah. From Max June 3, Should Mia be fired? Yes, actually
Absolutely.
fired. Not this bullshit. She wasn't asked back. I don't want to hear some weird, see some like screenshot of an email that she was going to send to Bravo saying she wants to take a step back. None of that.
Nope.
I want actual confirmation that she was legitimately fired.
Yeah.
Not asked back.
I wanted to walk out
fire.
onto the reunion set and Andy go, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, that would be great.
That'd be great.
From Sarah Hills, if you could replace a present Potomac housewife with a previous one, who would you switch?
I mean, Mia is out, and then my two, they can't coexist. But it would be either Monique or Candace, probably. And they can't be on the show together for obvious reasons.
Yeah. I would throw Monique back into the mix.
Yeah, she was great. I really enjoyed her. Obviously, we're Candace fans around here as well. But yeah, that's one of those two for me, and then Shooter, Monique.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an easy one. Who do you kick off? Mia can get the fuck out of here.
From Zoe Cudla Pillay, why is Kierna a housewife? She brings nothing. Is it a payoff so she doesn't sue Bravo too?
No, I don't mind.
Interesting point, though.
I mean, she's not doing a whole lot.
Was she asked on because of what happened at the end of last season?
It could have been, but I think that given...
I don't think she has enough room to grow with all this Mia bullshit.
I think that's the problem. I think that if she was given more of a stage and she would be able to do more, I think that this Mia stuff is bogging... She's not having a chance to grow. Shooter said it perfectly.
Yeah.
If Mia's not bogging the show down, we would be able to make a decision on that. I think she has enough. I think she's fun to watch when she's involved. I enjoy her on the screen. I think she deserves another chance. I think everybody on this cast deserves to run it back next season without Mia and Jaqueline to see what they have.
Yeah. We'll do two more here from Diana Maria. Do we need a complete revamp of RHOP before it's too late?
No.
I don't think, I'm in agreement with Steele. There's no reason to do a full revamp. You just have to get rid of Mia.
Guys, don't be blinded by Mia.
Yeah.
Right? That is the problem.
It's really hard to do, I know, because I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, but she is the problem. Everybody else on this show deserves to stay for at least one more year, and then you can make that decision. But we don't know.
And last one here from Lollygagger926. Do you think Mia and Gordon are back together and that a lot of the drama is fake for the show?
Potentially.
I think they are. Supposedly, now that she's done with Ink, she's trying to rekindle the marriage with Gordon.
I don't believe any of that.
I just don't believe any of it, but more than that, I don't care anymore.
That's the big part.
I'm just completely over it. I will, for the second question, I do think that a lot of the drama with Mia is fake.
It's definitely exaggerated. Yeah. I think that
show.
there's some truth to it, and I think that it's all blown out of proportion to fit her narrative.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm with you. I don't fucking care.
But that's all the questions we got.
Well, I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
Nope.
Well, Rob Bros are out here.
Later.